30 seconds.
You are live.
Good morning. Welcome to another informative webinar on reinstatements of companies and CC. I'm going to be your facilitator as well as your presenter this morning. My name is Shani Kelly and I am from the Corporate Education Unit of the CIPC. Please, before I start the webinar, please note the inquiries reinstatement email address. It's important that you have the correct email address when you're sending inquiries regarding reinstatements to CIPC. The table of contents for my webinar today will be the consequences of non-compliance, final deregistration, reinstatement, incidental information, and Learn-i-Biz. Consequences of deregistration. A company or a CC as a registered business ceases to exist. So when your company is deregistered, your business ceases to exist. The directors of the company will have limited liability. They will lose benefits of a registered business. The directors will be held personally liable for all debts. The banks may freeze your account and service providers may stop doing business with you. Creditors may also refuse to do payments to a deregistered business. Final deregistration. CIPC is clearing the register of dormant and inactive companies and CCs. What now? The name of your business becomes available immediately for another person to reserve and use. Deposits made, money in the customer account, but finally deregistered. The monies can be used for reinstatement process. It can be used to register a new company, or a refund can be requested from the revenues at cipc.co.za. So if you do have money in your customer code and your company has been deregistered, you can get a refund. You can use the funds for a new company, or you can use it to reinstate your business. If you did not receive the core 40.3 form or the core 40.4 form or the final deregistration notice, it is because the contact details of your directors or members are outdated or incorrect. Please have a look that CIPC has your latest and correct details. Use contact details of the service provider. It could be possible that the service provider that you requested to assist you with registering the company has used their personal details, for example, their email address and contact details instead of the ones of the director. So please go onto the CIPC website and check that the correct up-to-date details are on our systems. How to update contact details of directors and members so that they will be able to receive the notices in future. You can do a director or a member amendment form, or directors must provide their own contact details and not that of the service providers or of their companies. The forms for the core 40.5 is found on the CIPC website. If you see on the top left-hand corner, on the upper left-hand corner, you have useful resources. There's an icon there that says forms. Please go on that icon, click on it. You will get the second icon on your right-hand side that will say company forms and fees. Click on that icon and you will get the page at the bottom of my screen, the gray shaded form page where all the forms are available. Please click on that form and you will be able to download the forms that you require. Isn't that so easy? Now, this picture that I have in front of you is how to access the online deregistration letter. The main and most important part of my presentation, reinstatement. A company must have economic value on date of final deregistration. That means it must be economically viable to reinstate a deregistered company. We would require proof, which will be in the form of bank statements. This is the most common evidence that we require, due to the fact that if the business was still active, there will be money transacting into the account. Immovable properties. If they have immovable properties on the name of the company, we will need proof of that. IP rights, shares, you will need the share letter, the notification of issuer of the shares that the company or the CC holds. Outstanding liabilities. This is a letter or notification from SARS that credit or rebate or outstanding tax liabilities is due. Lease agreement. This is if the party is renting premises. The party must be part of a company or a CC, and the rental agreement must not have expired. Any assets that the company might have, for example, a car statement or a letter from the financer confirming that the company has assets on its name. Who may apply for reinstatements? According to Section 82, subsection 4 of the Companies Act, any interested party may apply to reinstate a company or CC. Only companies or CCs or it is duly appointed representative may file annual returns, file beneficial ownership declaration or the security register, file the AFS or FAS, that's a final financial accountability supplement. Third parties do not have access to such information, and therefore they cannot complete the reinstatement process, since all annual returns and other documents must be submitted to complete the process. Third parties may apply to courts to get permission. Okay, these are all the steps for reinstatements. Now, I'm going to go through each and every step for you. Step 1, determine the status of your company. Is your company in AR final deregistration? Step 2, assessment as to the economic value at the time of final deregistration. Is it feasible to reinstate your company? Does your company have economic value to be reinstated? Step 3, source all the required documents and information for the reinstatement, annual returns, the FAS or AFS process, and for beneficial ownership. Remember, this is all in one basket, so all the information needs to be available and at your disposal. Step 4, deposit funds. The amount of 200 Rand must reflect on your customer code before you send an email to apply for reinstatement. Step 5, submit your application and all your supporting documents in a single email to re-instatements@cipc.co.za with all attachments in PDF. Please note the reinstatement email address. At the beginning of my presentation, I gave you the inquiry email address. This is the email address for reinstatement when you are submitting your application. Step 6, submit and file all outstanding annual returns, your latest financial accountability supplement, and BO information. Step 7, ensure that all the directors' email addresses, business address, as well as cell phone numbers are correct and updated. Okay. Source all the requirement documentation. An originally completed form called 40.5 or a letter of similar contents. Remember, I have told you where you can get the forms or download the form 40.5. The customer code needs to be indicated on the Core 40.5 form. This is very important information. If you do not have a customer code, please register a new customer code. If you forgot your password of your customer code, please request that your password be reinstated or reset. So it's very important that your customer code is correct, that your funds are in the correct customer code, and you are available to access these funds with the correct password. If you registered your code, deposit the required funds in the CIPC bank account. Our bank account details are on the CIPC website. A mandate from the applicant on whose behalf you are submitting the application must be included. Sufficient funds in the customer code to process the application. I know I'm repeating myself, but it is of vital importance that you follow the correct steps. A reinstatement application carries a fee of 200 Rand. The deposit of the funds must reflect on the customer code. A certified ID copy of all the active directors and members need to be attached. Alternatively, if the member or the director has deceased, the executor letter and a certified copy of the executor's ID document needs to be attached. Certified ID copy of the applicant, that's the owner of the customer code. Certification must not be older than 3 months. Now note this, the Commissioner of Oath that is certifying your documents, his credentials must be clearly identifiable, traceable, as well as his designations, because the Commissioner of Oaths will be verified on all applications that are submitted. Now, sufficient documentary proof shows that the company or the CC was in business or has economic value or even has outstanding assets or liabilities. Bank statements, immovable property, IP rights, shares, outstanding liabilities, lease agreements, and assets are important to be attached to your property. Remember, these proof does not need to be all of them, but they need to be some of them in order to verify the value of your company. A court order, if you require obtain a court order, this needs to be emailed to corporate legal services at cipc.co.za. Please note the email address for service and recordal purposes. So it's very important that you use the correct email address. Advise that court orders must also mandate company or CC to bring all obligations up to date within a period of time, failure of which companies or CCs will be placed back into AR deregistration for non-compliance. So Regardless of the fact that you have done all this information, if you fail to lodge your annual returns, we will put you back into AR deregistration for non-compliance. Okay? Incidental information. The submission of the annual returns information together with payments should have been made before final deregistration. Mere timeous payment or deposit of fee is not regarded as final filing of annual returns. If payments or deposits were made, but the company or CC was finally deregistered, the company or CEC may be reinstated, provided it meets the process and documents requirements. Okay? If annual returns were filed, but not the latest beneficial ownership declaration, such must be filed separately, failure of which CIPC may initiate an investigation against the company or CC and issue a compliance notice. So note the slide. CIPC's various social media platforms. Please link to our social media platforms, like our social media platforms, follow us on these platforms. We have a variety of platforms available for you to follow, which are Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, not Twitter, X, LinkedIn, Threads, and YouTube. The resources that CIPC has available for you are found on our CIPC website. Remember, the notices relating to final deregistration is published on our website and social media platforms. Follow us, go onto our website and obtain the correct information. A little bit about the Learn-i-Biz course. This course is an online educational course for prospective, new, and existing directors of SMMEs. The purpose of this course is to educate directors with the basic information about their duties and responsibilities in order to improve compliance to the Companies Act of 2008. This course is free of charge. To obtain more information on this course, you can go onto the CIPC website or you can email elearning@cipc.co.za. Okay, that has brought me to the end of my presentation. Brenda and Jewel is available to address all the questions that you'll have on the chats. Okay. We will now go on to the comment section and address some of the comments that we have posted on us. Let me go back to our reinstatement process so that if we are asked of the process, it is on the screen, it is available. Please note, the presentation will always be on Facebook. If you wish to download the presentation, it is available on the CIPC website. If you require to listen to this webinar again, it is on the Facebook page of CIPC, and you are welcome to listen to the webinar as many times as you would like. Our first question will be, when emailing the documents, will there be an auto reply with the reference numbers? How do we know the email is in the process? Gerard, Brenda, will you answer that question, please?
Good morning, everyone. When sending documents, yes, you will get an auto reply from the email, and also you will know, you check on your transactions if the application has been tracked or not. And then if it's not, you make a follow-up sending an email to inquire reinstatements at cipc.co.za or call the call center. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brenda. The next question. How do we do step 6 if we have not gotten the reinstatement done? I have companies in reinstatement from January and nothing has been received. Okay, let's go to step 6. File your outstanding annual returns, the latest AFS or FAS and BO. How do we do it? You have to wait for, okay. Joel, will you take that question?
Thank you, Shani. After the entity has been reinstated, there is a message that you'll get that it has been reinstated, and then you can file the annual returns. So when you file the annual returns, automatically the status will change from the reinstatement process to be in business automatically. Thank you, Shani.
Okay. Please note, the reinstatement process is in place because your company has been deregistered due to non-compliance, because the annual returns have not been filed for 2 or more consecutive years. Your company has been in the deregistration process. According to our records, it is non-active, hence it's in final deregistration. We have sent out notifications provided we had the correct details of the directors in order for us to communicate with them and notify them that the annual returns have not been paid. Next question. Can I submit the annual returns before being reinstated? Brenda?
No, you cannot. You have to be reinstated first, and then you'll be able to file annual returns.
Thank you. The next question. How can I change the email address if the company was registered by a third person? Joel, will you take that question?
Yes, thank you. You can do the amendment through the COR 39, whereby you change your details. Thank you.
Ida, I'm sure that will, you can go to the step-by-step guide and that will also assist you on how to change your details. Samantha's question is, all these steps have been followed. 2 weeks later, still nothing has been done and all proper documents have been submitted. Brenda, is there a reason for the delay?
Okay. The reason is currently we have a backlog on a reinstatement application. We have about 7,000 applications to be processed. Please send an email to inquiry reinstatements with the registration number and customer code so that we can check what's the delay. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. Vincent's question is, once the 200 Rand is deducted from the count, is the company reinstated? Joel, does that mean the company is reinstated if the amount is deducted?
Yes, if the amount is deducted, it shows that it has been reinstated. You can file your annual returns.
Thank you.
Thank
Next
you.
question. If you have sent through an application and received a response after 2 weeks, can we still follow up, request the same email? It says it's only one email once.
Okay.
Brenda?
You follow up through the call center or the inquire reinstatements at cipc.co.za and then we'll respond. Thank you.
Thank you. Should I go back to the first page so that people are aware of the email address that they need to send their inquiries to? There's it. Okay, so that is the inquiries email address. What is the process of reinstatement after files have been submitted? Well, please
This
take that
question,
question.
thank you.
What
This
is
question is so ambiguous. It says, what is the process of reinstatement after files have been submitted? The process is, according to the step-by-step guide, you'll just follow that process on how to reinstate, and then after the money has been deducted and indexed or tracked, it will be processed. So it's done. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Do we first wait for confirmation from CIPC regarding reinstatement before updating BO and submission of AR? Brenda?
Yes, you wait for confirmation from CIPC, and then you will be able to update your BO and submit your annual returns. Thank you.
Okay, our next question is, if you are executing the services as a service provider on behalf of someone, are the steps the same? Sure.
Thank you, Shani. When you execute the services as a service provider from the other organization or entities, yes, the step guide is there on how to reinstate. It's the same process. Thank you.
Must the email be sent from the email address registered under the agent code? Brenda, please take that question.
No, it's not necessarily the same email address under the customer code. You can send using a different email address as long as the email address on the customer code is active and you have access to it. Communication will be received from there, from the email address that is registered under the customer code. You can submit your application using a different email address, but the customer code has to have an active email address, which we will send the information if the company has been reinstated or rejected. Thank you.
Okay, Russell would like us to please provide the email address to follow up on the status of reinstatement. Russell, the email address is on the screen, so you can take it down from that. It's enquiry@reinstatements@cipc.co.za. The next question, if the company has filed for BO last year and was deregistered this year, must they still include the BO documents in the reinstatement process? Jewel?
Thank you. This one, which will be, you will be directed by the system, whereby if you file, if the system requests the BO, and then you proceed. But if it doesn't request that BO, you proceed with your filing, because it's an automatic thing from the system. It's the system who answers you or who gives you the directives. Thank you, Shani.
Jewel, that response was not clear. Can you please give it to us again? There was
What
some
I'm saying
distortion.
is, what I'm saying is, according to the question where it say last year you filed the BO. So when you file the annual returns this year, the system will require to file again. So what I was saying is, it will depend on the system. When you file the annual return, it will give you the option that you file the BO or not. If it doesn't give you that option, you proceed with your filing of the annual returns after being reinstated. Thank you.
Thank you, Jewel. The next question. Why am I struggling to do annual returns whereby the 200 Rand has been deducted? Brenda, please take that question.
Okay. If you received a reference number, please inquire sending it on the email address or call the call center stating that the reference number that starts with a 11, and then we will check if it's captured or not.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, so that has brought us to the end of this webinar. Thank you very much, Brenda and Jewel, for answering the question so informatively for us. And thank you, everyone, for all the comments that you have posted for us. If there's any other queries that you'll have, please email them to inquire@reinstatements@cipc.co.za. That's inquire reinstatements@cipc.co.za. Any queries that you have, please, regarding reinstatement, please send it to this email address. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.
Bye.